There's very low expectations when it comes to capturing lightning in a bottle for a second time. Violet Evergarden was an extraordinary series in the way that it explored characters through the scope of an opaque lens. However, Agent of the Four Seasons captured that same heart-wrenching development, honing in on a focus of the main heroine within the intricate world building and really highlighting the one thing that these two series got right that everyone else is afraid to do with their female lead. To start off, let's differentiate some of the main points between these two works. One of the main aspects of the story that Agent of the Four Seasons focuses on is characterization. Just like Violet Evergarden, the plot provides story beats that test and weighs out the different traits and qualities of a character. At times though, Violet Evergarden treats its MC as a supporting protagonist rather than the main focus. I'd like to call these kinds of narrative structures as having a nomadic protag. Clear inspirations for modern stories like this includes Mushishi. In these mini-arcs, the conflict revolves around a supporting character who has a problem. They are in a situation that needs resolving, thus making them the main focus of this part in the series. Violet Evergarden is my favorite example of a story that perfects these story beats. A reason for its success lies in the essential traits of Violet, the protagonist. When I think back on the series, I remember her as a blank slate. She isn't in most respects, but her background is drenched in this trauma and apathy. This is why the nomadic presentation works well. Violet's lack of definite character allows her to absorb the many happenings of her environment, enough so to form values and opinions on emotions like longing and love. In the plot's development of Violet, dealing with these emotions such as affection, depression, and whatnot requires a lot of vulnerability out of her. There's several scenes where she lets it show, and so many more where it's felt. The story builds her out through these interactions and she starts making progress slowly. These qualities of vulnerability are felt all the same through the author's other work, Agent of the Four Seasons, though now they have one other tool at their disposal. The world of this new story seems simple at first. There are four gods who controlled the proper seasons of winter, spring, summer, autumn, and all the fantastical powers that came with it. Eventually, the gods had an idea and delegated an agent of their choosing to carry on the duty. This is where we meet our main cast of characters, the primary protagonist being Hinagiku, the agent of spring, who I will be referring to as Hina, and Sakura, the agent of spring's guard. Within this fascinating world, politics is a poignant part of plot developments. Surrounding these agents of powers are entire villages devoted to helping the manifestation of their season. Security details for the agents are appointed. There are insurgents who are hunting the agents for nefarious purposes. Knowing that it's going to happen, these villages still cannot influence how the gods choose the agent. Once one passes, another is immediately anointed. Seemingly elegant at first, the ambiguity of some things cast a dark shadow over the characters. Rather than presenting as a blank slate of a character, Hina's trauma and vulnerability is immediately shown with her shyness, yet soft-spoken and gentle self. She doesn't speak in complete fluid sentences. Her statements are bite-sized pieces of ideas joined together through willpower and effort. You can't tell immediately what she's harboring on her end, but you can definitely see that she wants to achieve what she sets out to do. I'm not going to spoil specific details, so I will reveal early plot points as roughly as the show says it to us. Sakura holds very ill feelings towards the village of Spring and other individuals who had tried to help with the story's inciting incident. It's been 10 years since the world has seen the beautiful blossoming spring. In that time, Hina had disappeared somewhere, unable to bring about the miracle of her calling. This has caused different kinds of dismay for several people. Instead of focusing on character stories like Violet Evergarden has, Agent of the Four Seasons showcases the world building's effect on both the majority and the few we get to know. Being a victim of an individual is one thing, but there's other circumstances to being a victim of reality itself. I will say that Violet Evergarden depicted some of this with Violet's background, but it didn't peer its head until a bit later on when it took on a slightly darker tone. In this new anime, the story centers around the Spring Agent and her guard. It tells their stories as they're branching out into the world they once abandoned. Both of them are trying trying to right their wrongs and in doing so, create a better world for the majority. There's heavy burdens being rested on these people's shoulders. So through story beats, the anime wants you to know that Hina and Sakura are focused and devoted to this mission of theirs. For Hina, her background is the major decider of her character. I won't spoil it because it is genuinely amazing to feel for the first time, but the disappearance for all those years wasn't some fantastical experience. It comes with baggage and scars that are the defining reason why she may act a certain way. The world around her definitely gave its own feedback, affecting her as well. Some viewers found it annoying how she spoke, but the rationalization of it is crucial in order to see it in its full light. Sakura also has a background tightly intertwined with Hina. While she may not be the agent herself, Sakura is as close as you can be to Hina without being blood relatives. She cares for her, has chemistry beyond anyone else in the series, and has her own scars to prove that her feelings for Hina aren't fake. Depending on how you look at them, either one could prove more heart-wrenching to you than the other. These stories are full of that personalization. I've said enough about the specifics of the story while keeping it vague. Now, I do think that the Violet Evergarden author caught lightning in the bottle a second time. They just wrote it using different techniques. Incorporating a fantasy world into their writing when their characterization of people is already fascinating provides a next level uniqueness in crafting characters that I can empathize with. Still, I want to be able to recommend this to people. While the author wrote them in different ways, these stories both make use of vulnerability to chase the plotline of their female lead trying to find home in a world that seems appalled by them. It's the same story with different accessorizing and proper polishing on both ends. You won't find other stories like these in the anime scene right now. I won't even talk about the discourse surrounding female protagonists in anime. For those we have been graced with, they've excellently cemented themselves as strong MCs. What's different about these series is that vulnerability isn't something that is looked down upon. It's used in context and empowers the characters from when they were at their lowest to their strongest. Violet Evergarden is widely known, so I can only tell you so much about how wonderful it is. It struck the right chord in so many people that it's critically acclaimed in the anime space. Now, if you want a story that might just do the same as it has with me, then give Agent of the Four Seasons a shot. That'll be all from me. It feels weird making a video about a different anime, especially after doing the Witch Hat series for the past month and a half. It's more of a vague review than an analysis, but I'll see about making a more specific video about this anime in the coming weeks. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. See you all later, you cool people.